Back in the day when you bought a game for your PS2 or Xbox or GameCube, whatever was on the disc was what you got. This meant any bugs or glitches in a game were there to stay, and no more content could be added into the game unless the developers released an updated version later down the line. But with games being increasingly reliant on being online and connected to the internet these days, this means games can change a lot from launch day. Take No Man's Sky for example. Today it's a very different game than when it came out, and it keeps on getting these big updates like clockwork. In fact, it recently got the new Visions update, which added a whole load of content to the game, and most people wouldn't argue that No Man's Sky is a much better game now than it was when it came out. And so that got us thinking, what are some other games that got much better over time?
So one game that I really think did improve over time was Battlefield 4, because I don't know if you remember, but at the time when Battlefield 4 came out, everyone hated them, man. Everyone was going on and on Battlefield 4. Oh, it's rubbish. Oh, it's buggy. Oh, it's another EA mess, and all that stuff. Then what happened was EA, DICE kept working on it, kept adding stuff, kept patching it, and it was a lot more stable. It worked. There was a lot less bugs anyway, and it was just a much better game all around. It felt like a really tight, sort of satisfying Battlefield shooter experience after a while. Now what happens is every Battlefield game that comes out, everyone says, oh, it's not as good as Battlefield 4. I'll just stick to Battlefield 4, thanks. You know, and that's quite a turnaround for a game that everyone flat out hated when it launched.
So yeah, one game I thought that got really better over time was Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO. So it originally came out in 2010. When it came out, it was not very good, criticised for being very buggy. The interface was not very usable at all, which is kind of bad from an MMO. And yeah, it was pretty much unfinished, very buggy. And so Square Enix actually shut it down and cancelled the PS3 version. But in 2013, they brought it back with Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn, a completely reworked version, remade from scratch, and that one is actually still going to this day. It's very good. It's actually about to get its third expansion pack next year, and it's now probably one of the best MMOs on the market.
One way or another, Divinity will survive.
The Void has been pushed back before by the power of mortals. The gods couldn't handle it, but maybe we can.
Divinity Original Sin 2 on release was pretty perfect. The reviews for it were spot on, 9s out of 10s, 10s out of 10s. Massive game, yeah? Big CRPG. How can it make it any better after launch? Well, they bloody did, didn't they? They did the definitive edition, and it's got loads of extra bits. They changed it. One bit of the story that people said wasn't pretty much perfect, that's the ARC story bit. They did like nearly 500,000 lines of dialogue. They added a squirrel that rides on a fucking undead cat. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to post-launch content, dead animals that have been reanimated, loads of new content for free, and fixing the one little gripe people had, you can't get much better than that, can you? Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition is one of the best games post-launch.
Another game I think that really drastically improved over time was Rome 2 Total War. That, a lot like Battlefield 4, was a game that everyone hated at launch. It was a bit of a mess. I played it at launch and I remember thinking like it was okay. It was just kind of a bit of a bloated, baggy Total War game, but just everyone was ragging on it. Like the internet did not like it. And then over time, they've just kind of added a lot of expensive DLC, but they also added a lot of free stuff and a lot of updates, a lot of huge updates. I probably remember about 3 or 4 updates where they said, hey everyone, this is the one now, the game is basically finished. They said that about 3 times, but eventually it did get to a place where it was so kind of polished and finished, they kind of rebranded it as the Rome 2 Total War, you know, Emperor Edition or something. I can't really remember. But the point was, that was it then. That was like the ultimate edition of the game, and that was something that you could recommend as a Total War player. You could say to someone like, if you've not played any Total War before, this is actually quite a good deal if it's on a Steam sale or something like that. Rome 2 Total War Empire Edition. And that was a huge turnaround because Creative Assembly, the development studio, they were under loads of pressure with Rome 2, and they definitely did turn it around in my book, and that was it was a much better game at the end. That's another boring strategy pick from me, Mike.
Another game that got better over time was Diablo 3, so I think everyone remembers it at launch. When it came out, you couldn't log into it, it was online only. Everyone remembers the now infamous Error 37, and it had the real money auction house, which annoyed a lot of people, and the loot was really bad in it, which for a game like Diablo you'd think they would have got right the first time. But then they made a patch called the Loot 2.0 patch and brought out Reaper of Souls, and the game got really good, and people are still playing it to this day. You can get it on the Switch now, the PS4, the Xbox One, and it's a really good hack and slash RPG now.
I remember ages ago buying Minecraft. It was in beta, maybe 1.3. It was $10. I don't know what the pound equivalent was back then. And me and a bunch of friends played it. I actually never even played Minecraft at launch. I played it for like that year and a half. And even that was just constantly changing. And I'm going to assume that launch is from when they started selling it, okay? Not the official release date. But I remember they added in wolves, cookies, finite amount of water, Herobrine, the creepypasta was made. I remember the last update I played was when they added the Nether and, or maybe it was, they added a little bit of a story with some sort of Ender Dragon or something like that. Amazed actually by just how much was added to the game in beta. And Minecraft, as you know, is a PC game that you can now play on every single device ever. I'm sure you can get Minecraft on a watch, you know, like a smartwatch or something. Anyway, mad. And you can see that that's just grown into one of the biggest bits of media ever. And that is because they weren't happy with how it was at launch and they just kept working on it and working on it and working on it. Got like all sorts of shit on there now. I remember like, I'm sure they had like a Panda vs Cats thing recently. A trailer at like the Xbox thing. They're just not stopping with it and it's been years. When will it end? Minecraft, yeah?
So there you go, folks. 6 games we thought are much better now than they were when they came out. Are there any games we missed that you think got better over time? If so, let us know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, and if you want to see more of us, your YouTube heroes, then please do subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with everything Special Moves. Check back next Sunday when we will have yet another thought-provoking discussion about something else. See you next time.